Welcome back, Ghost Speeders and Deadites. The game went live at midnight, whatever your midnight was, and of course, you probably got a chance to get your hands on it at this point. And today we're going to talk the tier list for survivors. I'm going 13 to 1, and it's set up into 4 different groups, and I'll explain everything in just a moment. But if you like this Evil Dead content, please drop a like and a comment on the video below. I answer all my comments. If you have any questions on the tier list, anything you want to know, if you were wondering why I put one character ahead of another, I have no problem answering that question. And of course, smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and of course, link in the description below to our Discord. If you're looking for people to play with, we have a thriving Evil Dead community just waiting to bring other people in. We have multiple channels ready for launch day, so you don't have to play with randos. So I'm going to break this down into 4 tiers, and I'm going to call the 4 tiers hot garbage, decent, really good, and boss as fuck. And let's be honest, the first one is hot garbage, and there's only one character in that group. And of course, that's number 13, Ed Getley. And do I really need to say more about Mr. Lightbright? Like, if you really want to know my thoughts and deep dive on Ed Getley, I'll include a link to his video in the description below. You can go over there and find out why I think he's just terrible. The next category is decent characters. You won't regret your time playing them, but you can always do a little bit better with the higher tier characters, but they're a decent group, and they hold characters 12 through 10. And first is number 12, Evil Dead 1 Ash. Of all the Ashes and all the support class characters, he's the weakest of all of them. And unfortunately, his level 10 and 25 perks, which we broke down in the 4 Ashes video, really aren't that good. And it makes him a hard choice of an Ash or a support character. So unfortunately, he kind of falls into this group where he's not terrible, but he's not really one of the better of his class or the Ashes. Number 11, and that's the weakest of the warrior class, Scotty, and his perks are just kind of meh. He can reduce his own fear, he does good heavy melee damage, he does get a boost if he's with Arthur, but we're scoring this on individual alone and not how synergies work. But his Weapon Master Lumberjack is just kind of weak sauce for a level 25 perk. It's not that Lumberjack, which is basically a baseball with spikes through, it's a bad melee weapon, it's just kind of meh. It is what it is. And number 10, Knowby, the weakest leader of all, but she does pair well with heavy hunter groups with her perks. Her perks are really good for range damage, and they're pretty heavy on that. So if you find a good hunter group, and you can find hunters that are perked into finding ammo, she'll be fine. But her melee is almost non-existent, so you kind of need to make sure you're in a heavy hunter group with her. And that's why you find these, group is kind of like 12 to 10, they're not bad. They have some flaws, they have some warts as characters, but they're solid enough. Like, if you play them, there's really no problem. Now, the next group of characters you get to are really good, and you're going to find that a vast majority of the 13 reside right here, and that's going to be numbers actually 9 all the way to 4, so 6 characters are all going to be in the really good group. And number 9, Evil Dead 2 Ash. He takes the next spot on this list. His double barrel abilities do pair well with Annie as a leader, and his Exorcist is an excellent perk. Exorcist is a top tier perk, so it's really good on him. And he can see through walls through chests, which isn't bad if you're looking for stuff. But when it comes to like the hunters, he's the weakest of the hunters. Speaking of hunters, is number 8. Amanda Fisher, who is a solid hunter. She's a very solid hunter, and she starts with a pistol, which is, although being the easiest weapon in the game to find, it is also her Weapon Master perk, so she does get a boost to damage. She also has ammo for days, which is a great ability when you're low on ammo. You can just proc that, and you have about 60 seconds when it's maxed out to just fire your gun with no weapon ammo reduction. And she also gets increased damage on her level 25 perk with consecutive hits. So Amanda's got some solid perks, and that's why she kind of just, like, her and the next character just kind of in the middle. And that is number 7, Ash versus Evil Dead Ash, who's probably the most balanced character in the whole game and works well with just about every possible combination, every type of synergy. It's also his weakness, though. Jack of all trades, master of none, which is kind of ironic since Bruce starred in the 2 seasons of the short-lived series called Jack of all trades when he played Jack Styles, a steampunk American spy. So it's kind of fitting that Ash versus Evil Dead Ash would be a Jack of all trades. We move up to number 6, and probably the best true healer in the game, and that's Cheryl Wiliams. With her AoE heal, her Shemp storage, her drinking abilities to both reduce fear and increase the health of those in her AoE range, she's a very solid support character. All the supports for the most part are pretty good, and you're going to really find that if you play Cheryl, you just like to heal, and there's nothing wrong with that. She is an excellent healer. We come to number 5, and this is the best hunter in the game, without a doubt, Kelly Maxwell. And with her ability for almost endless dodge, bleed damage, and then at her level 25 perk, she gets frenzied, which is basically just, longer she's in combat, the harder her melee becomes. She is really, really, really good DPS, and anyone that plays Kelly will have an awesome time playing her. But for the love of God, can someone just get Kelly a damn flamethrower? I mean, the girl needs her flamethrower. Now we come to the last one of the really good class, and that's number 4, Pablo Bolivar. Pablito is the best support in the game. He's an absolute shield monster. He can almost endlessly create Brujo medallions, which lead to almost 0 damage land. Like, you just keep shielding people up, and their health bar just doesn't drop. He is an amazing support, and will probably be very high on people's main lists when it comes to it. And actually, to be honest with you, 4 through 1 are going to be very highly mained characters, in my opinion. The final group is the cream of the crop. They're just boss as fuck and absolute monsters in this game, and are heads above the rest. Not to say that the previous group isn't good. They're really good characters, but the last 3 on the list are just absurd. And that starts with number 3, Henry the Red. The dude is a straight up tank with and a half. Like, there's nothing that can kill this dude. He has extra shield, he's extended shield and life bars at level 25. He has a proc where he can basically ignore both shield and life damage. And at his level 10 perk, he gets what's called Rebound, which basically allows him to keep sending some of it back at the Deadites attacking him. Henry is really, really good. And the only 2 characters that are better than Henry is number 2, Army of Darkness Ash, the best pure DPS in the game. Now, look out, screwheads, because he is bringing the heat. Wise Man Potions is an S tier perk. He has Blast to go along with Chainsaw Master, so he does tons of finishers. If you want more on all the Ashes, I will include the link below to the 4 Ash videos, along with the Ed video and the video on this next person, number 1, my best character in the game, in my opinion, of course. And that's all hail Lord Arthur. He is the best melee monster. He can destroy really anything with light or heavy attacks because he dual masters them at standard and his level 10 perk. I mean, Wrath is amazing. Wrath Continuance is absurd. Like, he can pretty much destroy anything, and he always has a sword on him. So what's going to happen is you're going to start out with a basic sword, and you just look to upgrade it to legendary as the match goes on, and you're pretty much just laying down pure melee destruction. And if you want to know, for one last caveat, who, in my opinion, the best group construction is, it is a pairing of leader Arthur, the best character in the game, paired with the next 3 best characters, and that is Henry as your tank, Army of Darkness, Ash as additional melee damage, destruction, and then Pablo shielding them all. Good luck, demons. Rip City, Population U, Kandarian Demon, because that group is going to be an absolute nightmare when people start lining it up against demons, and demon players are going to have to boost up their abilities quick, because that will be a tough one to go against. There's other synergies I think could be really good, but I think that one right now would probably be the best pure group in the game. And there it is. That is my 13-to-1 breakdown of the entire Survivor class. So when you're looking to go out in about 24 hours, you know which way you want to go. And like I said before, I'll include the 3 links for the Ed video, the 4 Ashes, and the Arthur video, so you can see why I feel more in depth about the Ashes, why I think Ed's just terrible and should be left from the game, and why I think Arthur is the best. As always, thanks for watching, and later, mates.